Grab your coffee and get comfy, because The View is live. Palin roars again? Could the mama grizzly have a place in Trump's White House? And why she says Donald's win was divine intervention. Plus, CNN's Van Jones hits Hot Topics to reveal the messy truth about what Trump's victory means for America. And do not miss some of your favorite superstars who have a surprise for Whoopi that may actually leave her speechless. The House of Hot Topics is in session with Whoopi, Sunny Hostin, Joy Behar, Sarah Haynes, and Jedediah Bila. Now, let's get things started.
It's funny already.
Yeah. She just may get to Washington after all. Reportedly, President-elect Trump is considering Palin to lead the Veteran Affairs. Kind of odd that they wouldn't say, hey, you know, there's like 4 or 5 people they could have gone to, but she comes from a military family, and I guess she fits in with Trump's promise to put outsiders in his administration. I don't know how that's working, but okay. But why not go for, like, John McCain, who's actually got some, you know, some heft behind.
Well, because he was captured, don't you remember? He doesn't like veterans who've been captured.
Trump did say
that's
that.
Right.
Yes.
Recall. That's right.
Yeah.
She was a big supporter of his, so I think this is, you know, payback. And also you have to remember Steve Bannon, who just got hired by the future Trump administration, has close ties to Sarah Palin. He did a documentary on her called The Undefeated. I saw it. It was a good documentary. It was about her time in Alaska. She, remember, was mayor and was governor.
Right, but why is she the person for veterans?
I think she's a strong advocate. If you were going to put her somewhere, if she were on your list of people and you were going to put her somewhere, she has been a strong advocate for the military, for reform in the VA. She does speak out very much in support of, you know, bettering the health care access that they have to. So I think people, and I think the military generally approves of her pretty highly. If you look at back, you know, in 2008, John McCain and Sarah Palin polled really well with military members.
And what about all those wolves she shot from the helicopter? That's
the wolves?
Yeah.
Oh, the what? The what?
Wolves. She shot from the middle.
No, that would only come in question if she was an environmentalist. If he had put her in charge of the environment,
that would be different.
Oh, I was thinking she knows how to use a gun.
I see.
I actually can support that kind of position for Sarah Palin. I think she can do the least amount of damage there, but she can also do the most. But she can also do good there because her son is an Iraq war vet, and I remember there was that issue when he got arrested for domestic violence, and she spoke out about post-traumatic stress disorder with our vets.
She blamed it on Obama, though.
Well, she did, but she also talked about post-traumatic stress disorder, and my uncle and my cousin are vets as well, and health issues, mental health issues especially, are really important to our vets, and they don't get the care that they need.
I hope that if she gets that she will do that, and then she will be very cognizant of the fact that for single-parent veteran households whose taxes are going to be raised under the Trump administration, that she's going to have her eye and finger on that pulse as well.
Yes, that's really important. And again, about the PTSD, diagnoses among deployed troops grew by 400%.
Again, I want somebody who knows what that means. See, it's not enough that you were a supporter. You know, to me, it's like a pay for play. If I pay you, you'll put me here. I want to make sure that if we're putting someone in the Vets Administration, that they're actually going to make the changes that
and they're
going to, and they know. I mean, that they are aware of all the different things that veterans are subject to, and how many homeless veterans there are, and how many veterans there are who are hidden in their houses, not coming out. I mean, I want somebody who actually knows what's going on.
What about John Kerry? John Kerry would be great. And he's a Democrat, but if I recall, Obama put Comey in the FBI. That didn't work out too well for us, but he was a Bush appointee,
Yes, he was.
and a Republican. I think it would be nice if Donald Trump reached across the aisle to a veteran like John Kerry, who has an award. You know, he was also wounded in the Vietnam conflict.
Well,
so why not that? And Secretary of State.
I originally thought what Sunny did, that like this is where she can maybe do the least amount of damage, but what I hadn't realized is that the Department of Veterans Affairs is the largest government agency with over 300 federal employees and a budget of $182 million.
That's
so
why,
I hope her experience in Alaska has prepared her for that. Like that she, I mean, I'm trying to look at her experience.
Yeah, you know what? She quit in the middle of her term. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
She did. And she also had a reality show, which maybe...
Well, so did Donald.
So did the president.
You know, so it's not a bad thing.
I think he's looking also for an outsider. Some of her history, I researched her extensively back in 2008. She took on the establishment in Alaska. She's somebody who takes on the Republican establishment. I think he's looking for someone who, if it is a time for reform, that's not going to be afraid to shake things up. Now, I don't know what she'll do. All I know about her is that she's passionate on this issue. And if I had a choice of positions for her, this is the one that makes the most sense.
Least amount of damage.
No, I don't know that she can do the least amount of damage there. I'm not sure about
she also cares
this
deeply
idea
about
of outsider. Let's talk about that. How many outsiders has he actually named?
Well, she is one of them. This would be an outsider.
She's not an outsider. She's right in the middle. No, she isn't. No,
that's not her history, though.
She is right in there. John McCain picked her to be his running mate. So she's all mixed up, in there. So who are the outsiders? Because I haven't seen an outsider that he's put a finger up.
Outside of Washington.
Well, I was going to say, is the divide the outside of Washington?
She was a governor.
Well, that's what I mean. Is it being an outsider in regard to being more Tea Party, like an outsider within the party, or is an outsider from the government? Because she was a governor. She was part of a ticket, presidential.
I think it's an outsider being someone who has taken on the system. So she is someone who, in Alaska, if you look at the history of Alaska, she took on the status quo in Alaska. I think it's people who are outside of D.C. who don't have ties to people in D.C. In other words, Sarah Palin doesn't owe anybody any favors in D.C. She's not entrenched in the system. That's his perspective. That's why I can see why he chose her.
Watch the movie Game Change.
Oh, that's a great movie.
And you'll see what Sarah Palin is really about.
One really positive thing that we can all stand behind is this means that Tina Fey would be back.
Oh, that's true.
Come on, guys. Silver lining.
Well, comedians love Sarah Palin. And Trump also. I mean, it's 4 years of comedy.
Do you not remember that? No.
And if we don't go all up in smoke, it's going to be a funny 4 years.
Now, Sarah, I am a little bit concerned. To your point, it looks like the president's 2017 budget includes $182.3 billion for Veterans Affairs. That's a
put all that in your
significant budget.
hands. Yeah. We'll be right back.
Still ahead, host in jeopardy. Which lady became a hot topic on TV last night? So Whoopi shared a tasty hot topic.
Mariah Carey revealed her very specific diet: Norwegian salmon, capers, and nothing else.
It makes the choices easier, like collard greens and catfish, which is what I could live on.
I could eat like cereal and lobster.
Enjoy.
Could you whittle it down to 2?
Yeah, French fries and pasta.
Oh yeah, we're serving up more tasty hot topics tomorrow on The View. Whoopi has no idea about the superstar surprise that could move her to tears. And CNN's Van Jones exposes the messy truth about Clinton's campaign fail and why Trump came out on top.
Welcome back. I am here with my friends in the audience. And if you're stumped about what to get anyone on your holiday gift list, look no further than L'Occitane. And they're giving this season by donating $10 to Dress for Success every time you buy select gift sets. But But we're saving members of our audience a step because you're going home with L'Occitane's best-selling Shea Butter collection.
Why'd you have to go there?
I don't know. Because I wanted to be with my friends in the audience.
Do you know them?
Yeah, they're my friends.
That's so nice.
I don't hand that title out lightly. Hey, girl.
So,
What else?
Nancy Pelosi was reelected as House Minority Leader, and Republicans are reportedly very happy about it. Critics claim that Pelosi hasn't been able to connect with young and minority voters or been able to stop Republicans from taking control. Well, I didn't know she was that powerful. Could Democrats use a little change here?
You know, I was thinking about this, and I was thinking, you know, the Democratic policies actually help the working man and woman more than Republican policies. For some reason, that idea got distorted. Yeah, it really is true. The Democratic Party is the party that wants to raise the minimum wage, that really wants to help people who are in need. Let's just put a broad stroke there. So they don't have to change their policies. What they need to do is change their messaging a little bit so that people understand what we do. The Democrats are not the union busters. We're not the people who are trying to hurt the working person. So they need a charismatic leader. You say, I mean, say what you will about Trump. He has charisma of some sort. You know, negative in my opinion, a lot of it. But he spoke to them. Well, the Democrats don't have somebody like that.
But see, I think if someone, I don't know if I agree with that. I think if someone had put, I don't know, who ran? Ben
Carson?
No, Bernie Sanders. If people had, okay. I know you like Bernie.
Okay.
Yeah.
We all love Bernie.
So let me explain something to you. Yeah. Okay? Bernie has a very wealthy state, Vermont. It's wealthy for a reason. And there's not a lot of poor people in it. So when you start looking for what's going to benefit everybody, it really should be about what's benefiting the very wealthy, the middle class, the lower middle class, and the very poor. That is, and so do you think if Bernie had been on television 24/7 every day for the last 2 years, if he would get the same attention? If his message would have gotten the same attention, or the green lady. If you put somebody on 24/7 and he was on every network all day, every day for 2 years.
Well, the question is, why did they put...
Free of charge.
But the question is, why did the networks keep putting him on? Because he's very entertaining.
Because he was an entertainer.
That's
but
right.
An entertainer is not necessarily the right person to make president. Now, our new president says, you know, we're going to do this and this and this and this and this, and then I look at his tax plan. And then I look at who he's putting in. You know, why are you putting a fox in the hen house when you put people in charge who you say, oh, you know, they're in charge of money?
Yeah.
The people who are in charge of the money are the people who screwed us.
Then his tax plan, to your point.
And talking about his new secretary, the person that he wants to be Secretary of the Treasury, his last name is Munchin, I believe. Munchin.
I'd like to buy a vowel.
It's like Munchin. And he, and correct me if I'm wrong, Whoopi, he is the person that presided over the foreclosure industry. He bought a bank that made billions of dollars off of taking people's homes from them.
These are the people who are in his cabinet.
So when people talk about outsiders and you know, these are not the guys that, to me, are the outsiders. These are the guys that have been inside and been bending folks over for years.
And also, Jedediah, you don't think that his tax plan is going to help? Do you not realize that his tax plan is not going to help the needy in this country?
I was just about to...
It's only going to help the rich.
I was just about to agree with you on a point. You took it right away from me. I was going to argue about, a little dizzy. I was going to argue about charisma and just say I think you have a point, though, because I think you have to be competent, yes, and I think you have to be an efficient person to bring about the message. But in this day and age, people do want a celebrity component in their politicians. They want someone who can hop on TV and make them laugh, someone they want to grab a beer with, someone that's likable. So unfortunately, that's the reality. That's the way people vote. And I think you have to find a combination. Look back at Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan was a governor.
Nobody wanted to have a beer with him.
But how was Trump? How was it?
How was Donald Trump
guy?
How was Donald Trump likable when he's talking about grabbing people by the genitals?
He just won based on likability for a lot of people because people saw him as a funny guy, like the crazy uncle at the dinner table.
So here's what I'm going to say.
The dinner table has to negotiate with North Korea.
But what I'm saying to you is that people want both right now.
So we will get exactly that. And I hope that all the people who got out there and said, listen, this is the guy I want. This is the man that is going to make it right. I hope that you're not the people he's bending over. We'll be right back.
He called Trump's victory a whitelash against the changing color of America. CNN's Van Jones reveals what scares him about life under President Trump next.
About everything but race tonight. We've talked about income, we've talked about class, we've talked about region. We haven't talked about race. This was a whitelash. This was a whitelash against a changing country. It was a whitelash against a black president in part.
That was CNN commented, Van Jones. He wasn't playing. You know, he had a visceral reaction to Donald Trump's victory on election night. And now he joins us in Hot Topics. Please welcome the fabulous Van Jones. Man, I would love you to explain to people exactly what you meant, because people don't, you know, if you're not a person of color, you don't know what you're talking about. So please explain a little bit for us.
Well, let me tell you what I wasn't saying. I was not saying that all 50 to 60 million people who voted for Donald Trump are racially hateful people who want to be in the alt-right neo-Nazi camp.
Right.
I wasn't saying that. And it would be actually unfair to the Trump voters to say that they're all racist. But to say that the alt-right and the neo-Nazis who were celebrating weren't a part, that would be unfair to the rest of America. We've got to be honest about what is going on. Both political parties right now, I think, have big problems. And they don't want to discuss it. And if you discuss it, you get in trouble. The liberals, you just talked about how liberals and Democrats, we see ourselves as the champions of the poor and the downtrodden. That's how we see ourselves. But we have somehow let a little camp of elitist-sounding, snobby people come into the party, and it's obnoxious. And they talk down to people, and everybody hates it. And if you say that as a Democrat, they say, well, what are you talking about? But everybody knows we have a problem with elitism. And then with the Republicans, they see themselves as the party of colorblind individualism. And that's beautiful. But they have somehow created a space for a small number of racially hateful people to come in their party. And they've got to deal with that, too. Both parties got problems. And we got to talk about it. You know, for me, the truth is messy. It's never Hillary's perfect and this, you know, Obama's he's perfect and Trump is the Antichrist, or Trump was only fighting for the working people and never stirred the pot on racism. The truth is messy. Ain't nobody perfect. We got to start talking about it.
All right.
By the way, I agree with a lot of that, and the elitism is alive and well on the GOP side, too, I'll tell you that. And, you know, we disagree a lot, but I have immense respect for you. I want to ask you about this whitelash comment, though, because when I heard it, obviously I'm as white as they come. I may not be in touch with the issue the way I should be. I admit that. But when I look at it, I say President Obama won the election in 2008 and in 2012. Many, in large part, because a lot of white people, young people, people of all ages, races, came out because they believed he was speaking to them. So when I look at that, I say a lot of white people put an African American as the first president of the United States. How is this election about race, if that's the case? How is it a backlash to that? And could it not just be that these were two very flawed candidates, and Hillary Clinton was not someone that people felt inspired to vote for, and that it wasn't a reflection on race or President Obama?
Look, first of all, what you're saying has a lot of validity. and there were a number of factors. And anybody who says it's only this or it's only that isn't being fair. But I think we have to start being true. The majority of white people voted against Obama both times. The majority of white people in California voted against Obama both times. So you don't have a country yet. Now, did they do it for racial reasons? No. The majority of white folks have been voting against Democrats for a long time.
Right.
So I'm not saying it's only racial, but we keep patting ourselves on the back and saying, we elected a black president. No, we elected a black president. That happened.
Wait a second. I did too. I know you did.
So I'm just saying, and the truth is messy. Now, what you can say, I'm sorry, y'all should have me on here. You know I'm agreeing.
I know. You know, it's good to have somebody else bring it. I'm happy to hear it.
And I miss you, my friend, because we brought it all the time together at CNN.
Yeah.
So I miss.
We were in Ferguson together on the front line, so that was rough.
I miss you very much. But one of the other things that you said on election night was the parents were scared about what to tell their children in the morning. And that struck a chord with me.
We didn't know what to tell.
We didn't know what to say.
Didn't know what to tell.
What did you tell your two sons?
Well, you know, part of the thing that was hard is that my kids were in LA watching me on TV.
Oh, wow.
So the first time they see their daddy, after this thing happens, no, it says I'm not there with them.
Yeah.
They were upset. They were more upset than I was.
Yeah.
But I'm not there with my family. So when I say it's hard to be a parent, and I'm raising my children not to be bigots and not to be bullies and to do their homework and to be prepared, and now I have to explain this. I was talking to them. I wasn't talking to America. I was talking to my children. And I'm a father first. I'm a father first.
That's right. Let me ask you, you know, he has some interesting people that he's appointing. I mean, the Steve Mnuchin. Steve Mnuchin, the Secretary of the Treasury, he was a former Goldman Sachs partner. I mean, they attacked Hillary Clinton up the wazoo about her attachment to speeches with Goldman Sachs. Tom Price, the Secretary of Health and Human Services, he's staunchly anti-abortion, anti-gay marriage, staunch Obamacare opponent. Jeff Sessions, accused of making racially insensitive comments. Attorney General, he's going to be. Steve Bannon, we know about him, the Breitbart News. What do you think about these choices?
You might as well go ahead.
Give him a chance.
Wait a minute. Let me come tear that up.
What do you really think, Ben?
Let me just say this.
Say it, man. Please.
Can you imagine if Barack Obama, elected president, said, the first person I'm appointing to be my advisor is the former head of Louis Farrakhan's Final Call publication? Give me a chance. Give me a chance.
Or Reverend Wright. What about Reverend Wright? Remember him?
Four kids by 3 different women. You think the 5 kids by 3 different women.
This is important to me because people keep saying we have to give him a chance. And we do have to give him a chance. But we don't have to give him a pass on everything. And we don't have to give him a pass on the things that they never gave Obama a pass on.
Or Hillary Clinton.
Can you imagine if Hillary Clinton, when she first got in the 70s, there was a group called SCUM, Society for Cutting Up Men.
Yes.
It was a pro-castration organization.
Yeah.
If she put
a real thing?
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
I never heard
it's true. It's true. No, castration.
Castration.
If Hillary Clinton had put somebody in from SCUM, do you think Republicans would be saying, "Oh, give her a chance"?
No.
Give her a chance. Well, that's Bannon.
No.
That's Bannon.
Right.
Bannon is from.
Listen.
Bannon is from an organization that made space for white nationalists, white supremacists, and was proud of it. Now, does that mean he's one? I don't know.
Well,
no, we don't know. We don't know.
Wait a second. You lie down with dogs and wake up with fleas.
Well,
Hold that thought. Hold it. Hold it. Van is sticking around because we're not letting him go. We'll be right back.
Jones. Now, Van, you were traveling around the country talking to people about the election, and you had a web series called The Messy Truth. And now
MessyTruth.org. Go ahead.
The Messy Truth, and now it's going to be a live special on CNN.
Nice.
So congratulations. But tell us a little bit about it.
I think in America we talk about each other and we don't talk to each other. And I think that me being in my liberal bubble and somebody else being in their red bubble is dangerous for America. So I went to be in the homes of Trump voters, and we sat down knee to knee and shared tears and arguments and jokes. And we're going to do this special on Tuesday, and I think people are going to be really impressed.
Do you feel you understand them? Do you feel that things resonated with you when you had those conversations?
Look, I grew up in a red state. I grew up in Tennessee, public schools, church every other Sunday, I ain't gonna lie, but enough Sundays they didn't think I was a visitor. And I understand how people in the red states feel looked down on. They feel talked down to. They feel that people on the coast think that they're smarter just because they went to college, and that's not true.
Yeah, now I want to ask you about that, because during the live special, we're going to see you. You actually go to a family in Ohio in particular, and you talk to them, and they explain to you why they voted for Donald Trump. Let's take a look at what they said.
You couldn't vote for Hillary Clinton.
We put Democrats in office, and she turned around and forgot completely about us. We are what makes this world go round. We built the tanks and bombs that won these countries' wars, and for you to come through here and completely neglect us, we would have rather vote for anybody instead of her. And all the other stuff that Donald said didn't seem to make a hill of beans. She hurt us, and that's what it is.
Wow.
Yeah, that's amazing. I would argue that you did what the Clinton campaign didn't do. You got out there and talked to people, and I've been saying for a long time, that's what they didn't do. It wasn't about message, it was about people feeling heard. And I think that's what people are going to see in this.
The news media, by the way, kept saying the college graduates are going for Hillary. The non-college graduates are going for Donald. They exacerbated that particular point you just made.
I want you to know something. That family voted for Obama twice. There's more going on than the media has gotten to. There's heartbreak all around, and we got to start listening to each other.
But here's my question. Now that we are starting to see the plans and the people Donald's putting in, how's this going to affect them? Because, you know, all of the things that these families have put their hopes and dreams on him.
Yeah. Listen, I'm going to tell you what. They're going to be patient with Donald Trump because they've been waiting for a long time.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you something, as a liberal, when those factories started closing, did the NAACP go out there and help?
No.
Did Greenpeace, did the National Organization for Women, did any liberal group show up for them?
Nobody.
Well, we've been talking about this.
So we cannot, so look, I've been in your amen corner the whole time. We as liberals can't be mad. We didn't go ask them for a date. We didn't try to say, come with me to dinner. So then, you know, Donald Trump shows up and takes him out, and now we're mad.
Well, how do you account for the fact that she has 2.5 million more popular votes than he then?
Sure, but it was the weakness in the Rust Belt.
Yeah.
That's where she lost it. And I was saying back in June, and you know I was saying back in June, them so-called blue states are hanging by a thread, and nobody went up there to fix it.
No, they didn't agree with. They didn't see that. When I interviewed Nancy Pelosi, I said, "What if he wins? He's not going to win."
Arrogance. And
hubris.
And I love Nancy Pelosi.
We will see. But our thanks to Van Jones. The Messy Truth airs December 6th on CNN. I hope you will tune in. We'll be right back.
Whoopi has no idea that her superstar friends have a surprise that'll knock her out of her seat next. Tomorrow on The View, it's Tell 'em Joy.
Friday.
Oh, yeah. And we're serving up some red-hot topics.
You know it.
Plus, we can't wait to hang with star of stage and screen, Palin Taylor.
Oh yeah, wait for that one.
TGIF, tomorrow on ABC. And Whoopi, you have been an AIDS activist since it first became a pandemic over 30 years ago. Yeah. At first, so many people were afraid to be associated with AIDS. So what compelled you to speak out actually early on when people were scared of it?
Because I was in in Berkeley, California, and in San Francisco, where we had friends, you know, performers, dancers, writers, designers, who suddenly got sick, and got sick in a way that hospitals were dumping them on the streets because they were afraid, because they didn't know what it was or where it had come from. And so friends would gather up, as many people as we could gather up, and you know, put people where they needed to go, and try to help as many people as you could. And so years ago, Elizabeth Taylor came to me when I first got famous and said, I'm going to ask you a question, do me a favor, and then if you say no, I'll understand. And I was like, okay, what is it? You're Elizabeth Taylor. What could you ask me that I would say no to? And she said, well, I'm doing a benefit for something called AIDS. And I said, yeah, okay, I'm in. And she's like, wait a minute, did you hear what I said? It's for AIDS. I said, Elizabeth, I was in San Francisco. We know all about it. Yeah, we're going to do this. And you know, tried very hard to make the government pay attention. You know, folks were marching and saying, and you know, a lot of folks were saying, you know, this is God's wrath. This wasn't God's wrath. This was a pandemic.
Well, we have something here for you. Since it is World AIDS Day, and you have done such incredible work as an ambassador for the Elizabeth Taylor AIDS Foundation, we have a surprise for you. Take a look.
It's not going away. In the world, there's a pandemic. In our, you know, little area, it just keeps getting worse, and the numbers keep increasing. So it's, you know, anything we can do to fight it.
Hey, Whoopi, I just wanted to leave you a message, my fellow ambassador for the Elizabeth Taylor AIDS Foundation. I wanted to thank you. I wanted to say that even though you and Elizabeth had an amazing friendship, that the thing you shared most, importantly, I feel, was the work that you took up in the 80s, the battle against AIDS all around the world, when the majority of the world chose to ignore it, and chose to ignore those who were afflicted with it. So I wanted to thank you on my behalf. I wanted to thank you on behalf of the millions of people around the globe who have been affected not only by AIDS, but of course thereby by your work. Sending my love. Bye.
Hey, Whoopi. In honor of World AIDS Day, I want to say thank you on behalf of all of Elizabeth Taylor's grandchildren. Like you, in the early 80s, our grandmother saw her friends and loved ones suffering and dying from a terrifying disease, which would later become known as AIDS. She knew from the beginning it wasn't only a health crisis, but also a social justice crisis.
Each day around the world, 5,000 people are infected with HIV.
So she fought for her friends and for every person who was being ignored as the pandemic raged on. But she couldn't do it alone. So our grandmother asked her friends to stand with her, and friends like you stood strong by her side. Our grandmother treasured you and your friendship. You've called her your friend who never judged and who led with love. And we know she'd have said the same about you. The world needs people like you more than ever, so we can finally reach an AIDS-free generation. You have opened up your home and your heart to the Elizabeth Taylor AIDS Foundation. We're forever grateful. And we're not the only ones.
My dear Whoopi, Lionel Richie here, my dear, and let me just tell you, I've been admiring you for many, many, many years. Not only being great friends, but just the fact that you are one of those people that walk your talk. And you spoke up for voices that were silent, for people who were in need. You've been in the forefront of the movements of the world. I am here to hug and kiss you and to adore you with all the rest of those wonderful people there with you, to tell you how much we love you, how much we appreciate you and your voice. God bless you, my dear.
Hi, Whoopi. It's Elton, and I'm so glad to be a part of this surprise. You and I knew Elizabeth Taylor very well. She was an unstoppable force, a champion in the fight against AIDS. She refused to sit on her hands and bite her tongue when so many others around her did. But you, my angel, my extraordinary friend, you stood up. You stood with Elizabeth and lent your voice to the fight when no one else would. I cannot think of anyone more deserving of this award than you. And it's an honor to present you with the Elizabeth Taylor Legacy Award. I'm so proud of you, and I know Elizabeth would be too. I love you. Congratulations.
Remarkable how much you look like your grandma. You know? But I hear that you have some big news to announce.
I do, thank you. A little icing on the cake for today. But before, I just want to say one last time, thank you so much for your support, your friendship, as an ambassador. You have been such an endless help to the Elizabeth Taylor AIDS Foundation, and we cannot thank you enough. So, the little icing.
Okay.
That dinner that you hosted for us a little while ago?
Yeah.
That solidified a partnership with the President's Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief. So what that means is that here today, on World AIDS Day, on your show, in your honor, I am so excited to say that we can announce a joint $4 million commitment by the United States government for our support, to support our international work in Malawi. I'm so excited.
For Whoopi and for the President's Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief.
Okay, for more information on how you can help the fight against AIDS, check out our website. And members of our studio audience are going home with a copy of Vanity Fair Icon Special Collector's Edition featuring the great Elizabeth Taylor. We'll be right back.